or PMS with our pill, but also using things that obfuscated the risk, so these like brightly colored balloons floating all over that didn't have anything to do with the medication, different kinds of music, and other visual elements to try to detract from the risks that they were listing, which were things like stroke, aplastic neoplasia, or hypertension. So Bayer ended up having to pay $20 million in corrective advertising campaigns because of how bad these advertisements were. But they're not the only company. So there have been Boniva, Enbrel, Doan's Pills, and Lamisil have also had to do corrected advertising campaigns for publishing ads that were inaccurate. So let's look at a couple of advertisements and what they say to you. We're going to watch this one on mute. So what does that advertisement treat? Yes.
I was going to say that probably like heart stuff or like family.
Sure. Your guess is as good as mine, yeah? There was one line of text at the bottom, acute coronary syndrome. Everything else was audio, right? And what did the visuals say about this medication? You can play hockey! Yeah, that's great. And coach hockey and look really manly doing it, right?
Right, and have these white things back.
Yeah, well, my bubbles and like some yellow stuff and some red stuff and right? So if you miss any of the information in the audio present in this ad, or maybe you have some kind of disparity in your hearing, you're not able to hear part of this, you're not going to get all of the information, you're not going to get the most accurate information. And that's why there are huge problems with the visual images present in advertisements. Look at two that are kind of connected. This one you can have the sound.
Psoriatic arthritis tries to get it my Psoriatic arthritis tries to get it my way.
Watch me. I've tried lots of things for my joint pain. Now, watch me.
Think I'd give up showing these guys how it's done? Please.
Real people with active psoriatic arthritis are changing the way they fight it. They're moving forward with Cosentyx. It's a different kind of targeted biologic. It's proven to help people find less joint pain and clearer skin. Don't use it if you are allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms of an infection, or if you have received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
With less joint pain, watch me.
For less joint pain and clearer skin, ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
People would stare. Psoriasis does that.
It was tough getting out there on stage. I wanted to be clear. I wanted it to last.
So I kept on fighting.
I found something that worked and keeps on working. Now they see me. See me.
See if Cosentyx can make a difference for you. Cosentyx is proven to help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you've received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Never give up. See me.
See me.
Clear skin can last.
Don't hold back. Ask your dermatologist if Cosentyx can help you find clear skin that lasts.
So those are the same medication. You can thank my videographer in the front for pointing that out to me. What's the difference?
You got one that's for arthritis on there, clear skin, and one for psoriasis. So they do both?
It does both.
Well,
It's true.
In the first one, it talked about clear skin, but in the second ad, it never mentioned anything about arthritis.
Yeah, so it framed the advertisements differently depending on who they were trying to target, right? So they were hoping that everybody who's a Cyndi Lauper fan needs to have clear skin. And in the first one, people who actually have arthritis just want to move around, right? Also, by the way, you could have clear skin. So they frame things very differently based on what they're trying to get across. But at no point do they address the fact that this medication treats two wildly different conditions. Absolutely. So this is the beginning of the labeled prescribing information for Cosentyx, and that is not information that is present in the advertisement, right? You didn't see any of this in the TV ad. I see some nodding. Yes. This is the first 2 pages. How many pages are there?
2. Oh,
More.
A lot.
Give me a guess.
20.
More.
50.
35 pages of prescribing information. And it talks about things like clinical trials, drug facts, risks, benefits, the chemical makeup of the drug, all this information that patients probably don't need the chemical makeup of the drug, right? But considering you are college-educated, health-literate individuals, how many of you have read 35 pages for each medication that you take? I'm the only one? Study this, so that's my excuse. Nobody reads that. So what does that say about potential patients? Google it, yeah. They may be Googling to try to find out information about it instead of reading something about all the warnings and precautions and different syringe. This is not even a syringe medication. Why is the word syringe in the information, right? They may not have the health literacy to get through this information, but they do have the health literacy to go to Google and type in, what does Cosentyx do that's bad, right? So they may not be relying on the information that is arguably the most accurate because they can't. They don't have the ability to take on that information, right? Here is my last one for you, and it's my favorite. So in your packet on the next page, there are some questions about Marina. So we're going to watch the commercial and try to answer some of those questions. We'll watch it again, so you get 2 go-throughs, because we've shown how in media we need repetition to get any kind of understanding of a concept. So we'll watch it twice and see how many of those questions you can answer.
Did I take my pill this morning?
There's birth control you don't have to think about taking every day or even every year.
I can't even think about having another child.
It's Mirena, a small intrauterine contraceptive that's over 99% effective at preventing pregnancy for as long as you want, for up to 5 years. Once it's removed, you can try to get pregnant right away. Or not. Don't use Mirena if you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called pelvic inflammatory disease. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Mirena comes out, tell your healthcare provider. If it comes out, use backup birth control. Mirena may attach to or go through the uterine wall and cause other problems. Although uncommon, pregnancy while using Mirena can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase at first and continue to be irregular. Periods over time may become shorter, lighter, or even stop. Mirena does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Oh, I think 2's plenty. Maybe.
Ask about Mirena when you have time. Did you know, if you choose Mirena to prevent pregnancy, it's the only birth control also approved to treat heavy menstrual bleeding.
Okay, one more time. See how many of the questions you can answer.
Oh, did I take my pill this morning?
There's birth control you don't have to think about taking every day or even every year.
I can't even think about having another child.
It's Mirena, a small intrauterine contraceptive that's over 99% effective at preventing pregnancy for as long as you want, for up to 5 years. Once it's removed, you can try to get pregnant right away. Or not. Don't use Mirena if you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called pelvic inflammatory disease. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Mirena comes out, tell your healthcare provider. If it comes out, use backup birth control. Mirena may attach to or go through the uterine wall and cause other problems. Although uncommon, pregnancy while using Mirena can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase at first and continue to be irregular. Periods over time may become shorter, lighter, or even stop. Mirena does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Oh, I think 2's plenty. Maybe.
Ask about Mirena when you have time. Did you know, if you choose Mirena to prevent pregnancy, it's the only birth control also approved to treat heavy menstrual bleeding.
Okay, so who can use Mirena and how can they get it?
Anyone, what I know for a fact, but you can't, somebody says you can't get Mirena if you have some problem or something, but it causes problems.
So did the commercial tell you who could have Mirena? If you look like her? Maybe? Yeah?
It's people who have had a child and you can get it by prescription. That's what it said. It's recommended for women who've had a child.
There you go. Yeah. Women who have had a child maybe, and you have to ask your doctor. They did not say the word prescription, which I think is a violation of the FDA, but they said you have to go talk to your doctor, right? How every direct-to-consumer advertisement ends. So you need a prescription and probably should have had a child. How does Mirena work? According to the commercial. Did the commercial tell you where it goes in? The commercial did not say the word service. No? The commercial showed it to you in somebody's hand. Does it go in your hand? Absolutely not, right? It didn't say how Mirena works. It just showed you a small intrauterine contraceptive. It did not even say intrauterine device or IUD, which is what they are more commonly known as, which is what people might be able to Google if they're searching for more information. How effective is Mirena, according to the commercial? Yeah, 99.9% effective. So they're definitely going to tell you that benefit, right? What are the risks or side effects?
It can move other places.
It can move, quote, other places. It can embed in your uterine wall and, quote, move other places. What are other places? What does that even mean? Other places, right? What else?
Was it infertility?
You could get infertility. Yeah. What else?
PID.
Yeah. Blood clots. Yeah.
Pain in the stomach.
Stomach pain.
It was like things were fatal or pregnant or something.
Although uncommon, pregnancy on Mirena can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy and infertility.
Yes, that's what I said.
That's totally what you said. I was just repeating it back to you. Yeah. Any other risks or side effects? Yeah, if you have a pelvic infection, you can't use it, but it can also give you a pelvic infection? Question mark? Right? It also talked about Mirena can just come out. It didn't say how, but it can come out, and you should just definitely use backup birth control if that happens.
They say you shouldn't use it if your body's immune to infections or
if you're likely to have infections, yeah, if you have those pelvic infections, you shouldn't use it, absolutely. Attach or go through the uterine wall was a problem. Pregnancy, it does not prevent HIV or STDs. Those are all of the risks that they talked about. So they did not talk about any of the risks associated with synthetic hormone or the fact that there is a synthetic hormone on Mirena, right? There are two different types of IUDs, a copper IUD and a plastic IUD with hormones, and they did not address any of the risks associated with synthetic hormones, which is a huge problem as well, right? What are the benefits outside of contraceptive? So you don't have a baby. What else? You may not have a period. That could be a benefit. Absolutely. What else?
You don't have to worry about taking already.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about taking a pill every single day. What else? It was one of the last lines. Yeah.
Just from the video, it looked like your children become less annoying.
Yes, your children are suddenly magically little angels that don't break watermelons in the grocery store.
You don't have to period.
Yes, so they were absolutely sure to put that last line in there. This is the only FDA-approved medication for treating heavy menstrual bleeding, right? They are the only birth control that can do that, and they made sure to put that in there. What are the long-term consequences? Did they say anything? So you're bringing your prior knowledge in, absolutely, and you have to consider the prior knowledge that's being brought in by the people who are watching this that maybe aren't health literate too. So they may have misinformation while watching advertisements like this. The only thing that I caught was once it's removed, you can try to get pregnant right away. So they really didn't talk